Hey, this is Michael, and this is an update on the status of Clarita, the app that I gave a demo of showing the design brief process in my last video. I've been working on the next phase, which is to integrate a separate project I've been working on, which is a design system starter. So this is basically a feature to build the foundations of a design system, creating tokens for your primitives that you're going to use in your project, and then the semantic variables and tokens for light and dark mode, and exporting that to Tailwind or into Figma, into the variables panel. The idea is to be able to create the starter, and then after you create a design brief, when you're ready to build a prompt, you can connect the basic foundations of your design system to the prompt output so that you can build your project in generative AI tool like Claude Code. So we have a project here that I have a design brief for. I'm just going to show the design system feature. And now in the new project button, you get to a dialog that allows you to pick either new design brief or new design system. So we're going to create a new design system here, and I'm going to call it M100 to continue the work on that project that I was demoing for the design brief. Now, when you get to the design system screens, you'll basically start with the foundation parts, which will include your primitive colors, your semantic colors for backgrounds and surfaces, other text, primary, secondary, disabled, link colors, border colors, and interactive colors, and for buttons and that sort of thing. And then, all the status colors for messages. Then you have a set of definitions you can create for the types of font families you want to use. So you can select, actually, you can just edit freely what Google Fonts um, you're going to use here, and then you can map your different typography to these definitions. So here's your typography scale from headings down to code. Then we have some spacing scales, so you can use these for different types of padding or margins, borders, shadows, opacity. These are your motion settings for animations and transitions, and then we have Z index for layering. So all of these are editable. This is based on Tailwind colors, so you can create, you can remove any of these primitives if you don't expect to use them. You can add new ones. So say we want to use like another color ramp here for our brand colors. You can, create a new group called brand. And then you can select a new color like sky, for instance, here. And then now you can reference this scale, this ramp of sky colors. So then what would happen now is if you were to choose a color from the primitives you've set, you can find all of those colors within this uh, scale from 50 to 950 for each color. And you can select the brand colors here, for instance. So we might pick a color like this, and then another color for the dark mode, and set those, and you see them updated here. You can create new ones from scratch by using the group button. You can set the type of group tokens you're going to create. If I'm going to create a new one called, let's just do test here, and I'm going to say it's going to have font family and font size here. And then I add that group. Then I would create a token within that group. So let's find the test group. And then we automatically see that it has font size and font family settings here. So when you're happy with your design system starter, you can switch over to the export view, and then here you'll find a Tailwind tab and a Figma tab. In the Tailwind tab, you can just download or copy this Tailwind config.js file to your project. And then if you're going to be using this in Figma, you would go to the Figma tab and you'll find all of these payloads that you can copy and then use them with Claude Code. So the way this works is that you install the Claude Figma MCP plugin, and then their instructions are here on the right side. And then once you have done that, you can use Claude to just give it instructions to add the um, the variables from your downloaded JSON files. So for this example, I downloaded this semantic variables JSON file to show you how this works. And you just download this to your machine, which I've done here. And then you can switch over to a terminal, run Claude, and then I have a test file here. So I'm going to take this, copy this URL, come over to Claude, and then the command you're going to use is basically, it's just a natural language instruction. So you're saying use the Figma MCP server to create variables from this file, and then give it the path to the file. So this is the file that I'm going to use. I'm just going to drag it in to get the path, and then into this Figma project, or into this project, I'll just say, and then I paste in the name of the project. So what we're going to do here, we're going to run that, and then we're going to open the variables window for this test project. It's going to read over the instructions, and then it's going to, I guess, read through all of the lines and then add a collection uh, for semantic colors. And then it's going to make modes for light and dark colors because that's what we set in our design system, and then we'll be able to use them in our project. So we'll let this run and come back in a second. Okay, so it created all 27 variables in the file and the semantic collection with light and dark modes, as you can see here. And so now we have these variables in the project, so we can test it by, let's just make a rectangle here, and let's add some text. Let's just keep it simple. I'm going to select these two things and create a frame, and I'm going to make this frame use the surface color from our let's see, I'm going to use a background color primary here, and then I'm going to take this text and use the text primary color here. And then now if you set this frame to use the variable for light mode, it'll be this color. And if you select it to dark, it'll switch to the dark mode. And you see that the mode is selected here in the frame. So that's all you would have to do to just get the basics of this one payload in. This is the semantic payload. Then you can go through every single one of these, download each different payload. There's one for each collection. So there's a font collection, typography collection. You download each one and then do the same thing again. Take the downloaded JSON file, tell Claude to um, create the variables from that each file that you upload or download, sorry, and then it will go add new collections for each. So that's the basic way how to use it here. So that's it for what we're doing with the design tokens. The idea is when you now have a design tokens or design system project, I will, sorry, I want to go to this design brief. And when I'm in this design phase of this project, if I go down to the build prompt, I will be adding a selector here to select the design system that we've created so that when we create the prototype, it has these basic colors and some style. Basically, we don't have any components. That's the one thing that this is not. It's not a way for you to design components and screens, design patterns, page layouts, that sort of thing. These are just the foundation parts to get a project started, and we want to sort of connect them to the project. Next step, I think, for me beyond this might be to create some sort of defaults that you could also select. So if you want to build your project, say, this is primarily to solve a problem that I want to solve for myself. If you want to build a project in Claude code, um, you know, do I want to create a React Vite project using CN, for instance? And then, I might be able to select the library that I want to use for components. And then, that would just sort of be by default, use all the properties of each component in that library. It could do the same thing with Figma, and then I would have to create the design system with components for that as well. So as time goes on, maybe that's something that I add, but right now I'm looking for feedback for how to make it better. I really want to use this as a way to bootstrap projects to make the process of getting from defining what we're building to building it a lot smoother without having to recreate the process every single time. So if you're interested, once again, just sign up at klarita.app. The list is growing. I'm only going to be letting people in by invitation only, and just a few people at a time once I feel it's stable enough. Um, then I'm just going to be one of the requirements to try it is just to give me feedback. And then, when it's good enough, then we'll figure out what to do with it from there. Okay, thanks for watching.